Welcome to our journey in Myles, and we're in Borrego Springs, California right now. We spent a good part of the winter here, and in this video we're going to show you all the adventures we had. Okay, this video is actually going in a different direction. We were going to show you what we did in Borrego Springs, but after recently listening to a podcast, it made me think our experience in Borrego Springs is way more than just what we did and where we were. On the podcast that I was watching, there's a guy that was talking about the longest running study that Harvard did in 1938, and it was conducted over 80 years. And the study was to answer the question, what makes us happy in life? The project followed 724 men starting in 1938, and all these guys were in their teens, and they followed them throughout their life. There are a lot of articles out there about this study, and one article that I read was written in 2017, and they said at that time there were still 60 of them alive, and they're still following them. Honestly, I wish they would have had some women in this study too, but you know, it started in 1938, sign of the times. But anyways, in this study, they did have some diversity in the economic and social backgrounds of everybody. This longest running study by Harvard found that the number one predictor of what makes us happy, and actually helps us live longer, is not necessarily about career achievement or money or health, diet or exercise. They found that positive relationships keep us happier. It's the closeness and the depth of our relationships, the positive interactions, and it could be at a deeper level with friends, family, but it also is your daily interaction, like with a barista at your coffee shop, or the person checking you out at the store, or even if you're just taking a walk with your dog and you say hello to your neighbor. It's the interaction and the positive connections that we have with people. Positive quality relationships make us happy. They keep us healthier, and they help us live longer. That's it. So when I heard this and read about this study, it made me think of our stay in Borrego Springs during November and December of 2025. It was really different. We've been there 2 times before. This time was really unique though. Somehow a number of our RV friends were going to be in the area. We were there actually with Pat and Paul, but some of our other RV friends were going to be in the area or passing through. So we all decided to rendezvous. And this group of people, and I call them part of our RV tribe, is the group of friends that we have connected with and stayed in contact with over the years. And they run from Pennsylvania to the state of Washington, Southern Cal, and Florida. I mean, all across the United States. And it was unique that we all kind of happened to be in the same area. So some people stayed about a week, a month. We were there for about 2.5 months, a little over 2 months with Pat and Paul. This rendezvous with our tribe made Mark and I think, we're pretty darn happy. Starting with our friends Pat and Paul and the running jokes we have.
All right, Sue, let's get going.
We're meeting our friends Pat and Paul, who we met way back in January of 2018. Whenever we travel together, they always seem to beat us to our destination. It's kind of like a little competition we have going on.
The moment of reckoning, all of the good planning. Leaving a day early, making sure my fuel stop was done ahead of time. Setting the alarm clock early. Wait a second. Is that Pat and Paul on the right? What the heck? Don't they know it's not fair? You can't pay somebody to drive your rig and just fly in on a private jet. I'm telling you, I'm going to have a conversation with them, and, well, they are really nice people. Okay, they can upstage me this time. But you know what? The next time we have a contest to go somewhere, I'm going to leave 15 minutes after I park the rig here to give me a 3-day advantage. But don't tell them.
But on this rendezvous, we were only coming from Indio, just 66 miles away. And they were coming from Tucson, only 360 miles, which they were driving, they said, that morning. Paul told us they would be there probably later in the afternoon, so we thought, this is our chance. But they said they woke up before the sun, so they just figured, let's get started. Right, they happened to wake up early. Anyone else find that? So when we pulled into the RV park, who do we see? Pat and Paul washing their motorhome after a long drive. This is crazy. So, okay, they may have beaten us here, but we beat them to our site. You gotta take those wins when you can. So we've been here before and love it here. If you'd like to see more about this RV resort and things to do here, check out these 2 videos where we review the resort and the area. So here's one of the things that we love to do when we're in Borrego Springs. We're up early. It's a beautiful day. It's chilly, but we're going into town. We are going to ride our bikes and meet people for breakfast. So I've got my my phone camera on facing me, and I'm thinking I can hear you from my phone. It's a pretty short 2-mile ride, taking about 10 minutes. I actually walked in one morning. It was a nice walk to start the morning. Kendall's Café turned out to be our favorite place for breakfast. We met up this morning with the rest of our tribe at Kendall's, who did not bike in. Let me introduce others in our RV tribe. There's Pam and John. Mark had been corresponding with John for a while, and we met up with them a couple times before, back in Milwaukee and also down in Florida. Then there's Paul and Pat. If you've been watching our videos, you'll know them because we've been hanging out with them a lot since 2018. And then there's Tim. You might recognize him. We met him on our first adventure caravan, and then we ended up doing 2 more caravans with him.
Hey, I don't know about this friendship here, you know. All right.
Let's see how you're spreading that.
I'm embarrassed. I already made a mistake. You'll notice I just put jelly on.
Oh.
Except, of course, I also noticed with my fingers that the butter is on this side. Darn it!
Oh my God. And we had more of our tribe arrive a little bit later. Meredad and Renee, we met them on our East Coast adventure caravan.
Didn't they say that was changed? It was the midnight run?
It could have been.
Oh.
We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
See ya.
And here's another breakfast rendezvous. Good looking group. But I kind of felt like middle school with girls on one side of the gym, boys on the other side. But it was nice. We talked about things that interested us. And the guys just talked RV and other related things. Well, in between the grunting.
Wow.
Ladies, you know what I mean about that.
Right on time, my anal retentive friends. Well,
There were a number of times we drove up into the mountains and did some touristy things.
All right, so this is the definition of a pretty drive to Pat and Paul. So usually I take a couple of Xantex right before I leave when we go riding.
I take Dramamine.
Oh, the only thing that keeps me going is we're going to get some date bread.
Yeah.
It is gorgeous.
Oh, so this is gorgeous, not pretty.
This is the next level.
Yeah. Well, then, you know, if we're trying to describe things, Paul, how would you have described when I showed up last night to the hot tub with my swimming suit?
Oh, that was frightening.
One of our stops was the Palomar Observatory. This place was really interesting. And since we drove all the way up there, you've got to check out Julian. It's a cute town, and the area is well known for the pies they have.
All right. we've been walking around all day in Julian, consuming all that fresh air, walking 20 or 30 miles while shopping. So of course we have to have some pie from the Julian Pie Company.
You've got to drive a little bit to get here. The pies are actually made in the Santa Isabel facility nearby. Another day, we drove with Tim over to the Salton Sea to check out the Slab City. Open. Welcome. All right, Bombay Beach, and look at that. We are actually driving in the sea.
The
Where are we?
Ram.
Where are we?
We go over by the boat.
And there really is a lot to do in this area if you don't mind driving. One day we all drove over to Palm Springs and took the aerial tramway up near the top of San Jacinto Peak. Okay, this is the extent of Mark's hiking for the day. You're doing really good though, baby. I'm proud of you.
Oh, honey, look it.
No!
There's ice here.
Oh no! Renee, you're kind of preciously carrying that. I'm wondering why. It's snow.
I want to take it home.
Woo!
So here's Sue bringing up the rear again. I'm already up here. She's ashamed. She's hiding behind that bush down there. Oh, there she is. She popped out.
Well, Tim's back.
Yeah.
Oh, he must be breathing.
Well, and I could see why she's last. You can see that she's a little lethargic coming up, but
I'm actually taking it all in and thinking, yep, I'm done with snow.
and I'm talking about the size, scale, and diameters. That was the normal size machine.
Can I get a grunt from y'all?
How big the weight?
Excellent. You took control. One of the cool things we like to do when we're out here is drive around or ride our bikes to Galleta Meadows, where they have over 130 large freestanding metal art sculptures. They spread throughout 26 different sites and over 1,500 plus acres of the surrounding desert. It's all on private land, but anyone can go and check them out. So here we are, we're riding our bikes along, and they've actually got 2 new installations. We're going to go check them out. The Rattlesnake and the Roadrunner. Watch out, Mark. It's looking at you.
Literally, wherever you are, wherever you look, it is so beautiful, and the weather is so perfect because it's cool in the morning. If you get out and do things, it's great, and it gets warm or even hot in the afternoon. But when you look at the scenery in the back, this is what you'll get to see for all of the months that you choose to stay during the snowbird season. You can't beat it with a stick.
Every Tuesday evening when we were there, the park hosts a hot dog campfire. Kind of nice after biking all day. And many evenings we gathered in the hot tub. We beat them all here this night. Another beautiful day in Borrego Springs, and it's another beautiful day for a bike ride. So this is one of the things we do a lot in Borrego. There's just nice areas to go ride. So today we're gonna hook up with a bunch of our friends that are here also, and we're gonna head over to a golf course. Can't remember what it is, but it's a golf course that didn't make it. At one point, it was beautiful, 27 holes, and it looked like a paradise. It's now like, what do we call that?
Dystopian apocalypse.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. Anyways, we're going to take the trail through there and explore a little bit more. Once Mark is done putzing, he does that sometimes. Let's go.
All right.
So here we are, we're actually on our way over, and this is where we're going. So the entrance looks pretty nice, and they still do have a hotel and a restaurant, but it's that golf course. That's where dystopia is. Let it go. This isn't bad. I mean, the grass is gone. Some of the trees are still here. But we'll get back there. You'll see the trees they're just stumps. Let me tell you a bit about Borrego Springs and what happened here. Borrego Springs is a small desert town, and it's unique because it's surrounded on all sides by the sprawling Anza-Borrego Desert State Park, which is the largest state park in California, and the third largest state park nationally, covering over 600,000 acres. So essentially, the park was established around this existing small desert community. And this community relies 100% on a single source for its water, the Borrego Valley Groundwater Basin, an underground aquifer. This aquifer is recharged primarily by mountain streams and rain, which became an issue because the development was depleting it. Over the years, more than a dozen major landholders, including ranchers and developers who have grown crops and created lush Gulf greens in this parched desert by pumping large amounts of water from their rapidly depleting aquifer, they eventually had to sign on to a settlement agreement. With a judge's approval, this agreement, under which large farmers, resort owners, and its own water district had to slash water use by 74% by 2040. Officials say the cuts are needed to keep the town of 3,000 alive. That's all that live there, 3,000. But in the winter, this number can double or even triple the population from anywhere of 6,000 to 9,000 residents. So with this agreement, some farmers opted to not plant some fields or stripped out old, less productive fruit trees, or some even sold and moved out. This golf course, which was one of the main golf courses at one time, chose to close. As one local said in an article I read, they don't fear Borrego Springs becoming another wild place overrun by visitors precisely because of its water constraints.
I don't want to put any weight on a goat head.
Another delay.
Yeah, I'm in a sand trap.
So we stopped for lunch at Carly's, and then we went over to, I think it was the Fudge something, and we had some ice cream. And I got on my bike and found out I have a flat. So I think John has a flat too. So that is one of the hard parts about riding our bikes around here. You got to stay on the road. And I think because we went on the golf course and had to come off it a couple times, getting around trees and stuff, I probably picked up a goat's head and punctured it. So anyways, did that twice within a week. Our first time that we were here in Borrego. This is the first flat for this stay. Hopefully the first and last flat. It was a good 16-mile ride. Well, up until a flat, that is. And one of the things you want to make sure you have before you come to Borrego Springs, if you're going to be riding your bike, is bring stuff to fix a flat, because you are pretty sure going to end up picking up a goat's head.
Well, and my best advice to you is to get a friend like Paul.
Yeah.
Because Paul would probably fix this for me. He'd probably like to do it too. But
Don't push your friendship.
Yeah, I didn't push my friendship, so did it myself. So this, 25-minute job, I should be done with in about 3.5 hours, and we'll be good.
Actually, he did it pretty fast. Another great ride is out to the Anza-Borrego Desert State Park. Like I said before, this is the largest state park in California. And it does have a campground, along with many hiking trails and roads to explore the area if you have a four-wheel drive vehicle. So we're on the back side of the visitor center right now. Got some movies inside. So there's an overlook over here. This is actually on top of the visitor center. You can see it's down below. For a place that's in the desert, how perfect is that? Probably one of my favorite things we did with our group was walk out to Fonts Point. So we're here at Fonts Point in near Borrego Springs, California. And this is where you go for a sunset. It's a 4-mile drive getting back here. Now we're just hiking a little bit.
Yeah, and we've been hiking for, 1 or 2 miles now from the parking lot?
1 or 2 minutes, yeah.
Oh, turn around and show.
There it is. Fonts Point is in Anza-Borrego Desert State Park and is a premier, easily accessible overlook that has amazing panoramic views of the Borrego Badlands, which is often called the Grand Canyon of California. Known for dramatic sunrises, sunsets, and at times excellent stargazing. You can get there by a 4-mile sandy, unpaved road requiring a 4-wheel drive. Obviously, we didn't drive.
Yeah.
Here we've got Mirdad, who hiked over there, and of course, I had to join him. Another great day with our tribe. I think we're all feeling pretty happy. If you haven't noticed, a lot of our socializing is around food. If you're in Borrego Springs, you have got to go to the Coyote Steakhouse. And this was our dinner before we said goodbye to our friends as they moved on. Except Pat and Paul, of course. All right, we've got another day of morning bike ride. We're heading into town once again to have some breakfast. This time our party is pretty small. Just Pat and Paul. We had Tim leave the other day, yesterday, and Pam and John left. So we're down to the originals.
Georgetown University.
Nice. Good choice. Today we're just riding around anywhere we want. Because Borrego is surrounded by the state park, we obviously cross in and out of it several times. And we come across some of the darndest things in the desert, like Peg Leg Smith Monument. Right, so here's the monument. Peg Leg Smith, Thomas L. Smith, better known as Peg Leg Smith, was a mountain man, prospector, and spinner of tall tales. Legends regarding his lost mine have grown through the years. Countless people have searched the desert looking for its fabulous wealth. Wow, he must have had some good stories to have his own California registered historical landmark. Wow. Wow. So where is it? One can only wonder. I just got that, a recording. Oh, there he goes, faking it.
The men's room has hand sanitizer.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're so full of it. So it looks like there's a closure 5.2 miles ahead at Third Crossing. I'll bet that's quite an adventure out there anyways. Right, so that's the right vehicle for if you're going down this road. We will not be bringing our minivan. That's for sure. We always seem to reward ourselves for a great exercise day with some kind of treat. Anybody else do that? So it was at this time during our stay, I flew back to the Midwest to spend the holidays with my other tribe, my daughter and her family. This is when I get my heart filled and my happiness continues. All right, we're doing a paint and drink. We got our margaritas. We're ready to roll. Cheese! And I'm not allowed to show my grandkids, but I can show you a bit of what we did. And back in Borrego Springs, Pat and Paul took care of Mark.
Good morning. It's about 8:24 in the morning, and I'm on my way to Pat and Paul's to go for a ride to places unknown. Paul is like a walking National Geographic / Rand McNally map, and he can just name off the places we're going, the roads we're going to be on. So today I'd like to capture where we're going, some of the fun things we're doing. This is a controlled burn to reduce the amount of fuel that's on the floor here. They're back burning so that it meets in the middle somewhere.
Yes, and then it goes out because there's no fuel.
Yeah.
And once my heart was full and I flew back, we got together with more friends, Linda, Mary, and their guests for a New Year's Eve dinner. Remember how I started this video saying that the study had the #1 predictor of happiness being your connections? All right, one more connection before we leave this area. We drove over to Indio to visit our buddies Shane and Paul. This Harvard study that found the #1 thing that makes us happy in life went on for over 80 years. And because it was so long, it followed some of the participants well into their 90s. And they found that as the people got older, they tended to focus more on what's important to them and didn't sweat the small stuff to the degree that they did when they were younger. Other research supports this mindset and has found that older adults are better at letting go of past failures. Quoting the project's director of the Harvard study, Dr. Robert Waldinger, he said, "Older people tend to realize how life is short, and they are more likely to pay attention more to what makes them happy now." The Harvard study revealed that strong, positive relationships are a primary driver of long-term health, well-being, and happiness. You'd have to agree. Cindy, what happened?
I am only following orders. I've directed a number of different ways. We gotta get in here. This is the final way.
All right. I'll have a Diet Coke.
Look at us right there, okay? I want you to get a feel for the
Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, we would like to invite you to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. That actually would add to our happiness, because the YouTube algorithms recognizes the relevance of YouTube channels only when folks actually subscribe to them. This action prompts YouTube to recommend that channel's videos to others like you. It's free and especially good with coffee in the morning. So, until we get to meet you on the road or in a campground someday, we invite you to join us most Sunday mornings for another episode of Our Journey in Miles. Travel safe and get out there and find more happiness. What is
It's
that?
something growing on. It almost looks like soap suds.
It
but
does
it's
look
all
like
over.
soap suds, yeah.
There's some pretty big bunches of it right here.
What is that?
For
Oh, that could be a bug weaving?
yeah, that
Ooh, look
is-
at that. Shake your hand off. the fineness of it, though. It's like little threads.